I made a post the other day, which was simply this here, which was simply nothing except this. It said, "Life is better this way." So I posted a photo from the church that I go to. I posted this, and I just said, "Life is better this way." And you know, when I post stuff like this, I'm not meaning to tell people, "Hey, church, how dare you?
Atheist, I'm coming to subjugate you.
You're sick. You're sick. You're sick.
You're sick. Humiliated."
I mean, all I do is, and we use the channels that we have, no matter what they were built for and what we made them for, to express our place in life and express our state of mind and how we feel right now, right? And I feel very happy at the moment, so I post this online and say, "Life is better this way." That's all. I personally don't have any problem with Matt Dillahunty. Never did. I always did think that he was a little bit over the top, and he was a little bit, a little bit much in how he responds to people. I also made that quite clear when I co-hosted Atheist Experience with him. I would kind of cut him off sometimes when he would go too hardcore into, I don't know. We were talking to some woman who was like feeling very upset and found some hope in belief in God, and he was like just attacking her for that and mocking her, and I was like, "Oh, whoa, hold up." So he has a messed up side, but he also can be very, very nice and upstanding and can be very good on a personal level. But since I started making my conversion to Christianity known, he has been a little bit problematic about it. And he said, in response to me just posting this, "Prove it and prove that the claims are true. Until then, your faith-based performance like Ayan's is just trading one convenient master for another."
Hey, all you said is life is better this way. Prove that it's better. Well, keep in mind, what would your claim be based on? It would just be based on your experience, right? Like, hey,
the proof.
Like, hey, I've lived like this and I've lived like that, and life is better this way. Prove it, prove it, prove it, prove that it's true. It's funny because Matt, you're kind of proving it for him, because if the alternative is being a sniveling little crybaby who's obsessed with whining about stuff that should make absolutely no difference to you because it's all meaningless, well.
So he posted this, and I really liked that Amy Alkin, who is herself an atheist, actually came in and said, "Oh, come on, I'm an atheist, and I used to be an asshole atheist, especially in my 20s, but I took a look at myself and removed the asshole portion of that. I don't have to believe as others to be happy that they get comfort, community, and other things that work for them out of their religion. It's small and ugly to go around rising up below some post where someone has expressed some joy or satisfaction about their religion.
There will be no joy or satisfaction allowed for Matt
and demean them. You perhaps tell yourself you're doing something meaningful. You're not. No one is persuaded by the approach you took. In fact, I can imagine that people who are religious would be so off-put by this ugly behavior that they would find the notion of even considering whether there's something to the atheist viewpoint extremely distasteful. Heck of a job, Brownie."
She's absolutely correct.
Black Angel said AP's hobby is to cause fights on X. This is true. This is now the 60th fight that I caused this week.
That's like the Apostle Paul, man. When he went in front of we brought it up before, when he went in front of the Pharisees and the Sadducees didn't believe in the resurrection, but the Pharisees did, and he says, "Hey, I'm just being brought in here because I believe in the resurrection." And then they all start arguing with each other. But that's like AP. Hey, look, life is better.
How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? So let's say AP stands for aorta poisoner, the great divider of men. Mother Queen, when AP is still atheist, you're a closet Christian. When AP becomes a Christian, prove it. The funny thing is that I got lots of responses from people. I asked him, "I am a Christian now, Matt." This is, by the way, the first time that I referred to myself as a Christian, but I thought...
I noticed that. I was like, I thought he wasn't referring to himself as a Christian.
I thought, it's time, bro. I'm a Christian now, Matt. My life is better this way. I am better. Why does this bother you? He then responded to it, because you pretended to be a skeptic and then adopted a faith-based position that you do not defend, yet publicly support as if is true. You choose comfort over truth. You misrepresented yourself to those of us who promote. Is that really what this is about? Wait. His problem here is that I misrepresented myself as a skeptic to those like him who promoted me. He wasn't. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what he's taking credit for, but my interactions with Matt Dillahunty only, came into play like very, very recently.
You became popular for making brutal videos, making fun of Islam and exposing Islam. That's why you became popular. It wasn't because of Matt Dillahunty gave you the thumbs up and then you took off. What sort of fantasy land does this guy live in?
Because you pretended to be a skeptic. I said, what do you mean pretended? I was a skeptic, and to a great deal very much am. People who have watched me know that I've engaged with Christians respectfully, but with strong disagreements for many years. I don't tell people they should convert. Why do you come at me? And this is my whole point here. I never look. I have talked about Islam for years. I never went up to Muslims on their pages and said, you believe in stupid nonsense. Why would you believe in that? How dare you? What is your proof? Prove it. When people made public videos advocating for Islam, I did respond to them. Right? When people made posts advocating for Islam, I did respond to those. I never went to people and acted like, how dare you? Why would you believe in this? Why would you not believe in that? Prove to me that this is true. Prove to me that this is not true. I never engaged in this behavior. I didn't do this to atheists. I didn't do this to Christians. I didn't do it even to Muslims. It's kind of weird that people come to me and just because I express my own feelings, I say it right here, and also my beliefs, people come at me and they're like, oh, why would you do this? How dare you? How dare you? And he even challenges me to do it to a debate and says I would never debate him. He is acting like Muhammad Hijab. It's so weird. He is acting like Muhammad Hijab.
I challenge you to Mubahala. Mubahala. We will ask Chance to curse the liar.
Matt Dillahunty, I hereby challenge you to a mubahala and a cage fight at the same time. And also, while we're doing a cage fight and a mubahala, we can also debate.
Yeah.
If you don't accept it, you're a coward.
You're a coward and a liar and not a real atheist. Any true atheist would do it.
Accept my mubahala challenge. Come on. How dare you? So this is what Matt Dillahunty does about this topic. He doesn't like it. Here. I'm live at 2 p.m. Central. We're happy to give you time to defend your beliefs publicly today. So, why?
And he's
why would why do I have to? Why do I have to? Why would I want to defend my beliefs? I'm not interested in going out and preaching my beliefs. I'm not interested in convincing you. Why do you? So you believe something? How about you come here and defend your beliefs?
I am the belief police, and everything must come through me. I am the judge of what you must believe. Who does this clown think he is? Seriously, Matt.
Is your position faith-based or evidence-based? Because it's based. That's it, man. It's based. Because only one of those is consistent with skepticism. I have no problem with you being a Christian. It wasn't remotely surprising. Some of us had suspected it privately for ages. But you clearly never understood skepticism. Well, look, I have to point something out here. He's actually partially right here. He's actually partly right. I'm going to give him that. He's actually partly right. I was a hardcore skeptic and a hardcore atheist for the longest time, and that actually changed. He's partly right. So when he says that my newfound faith is not consistent with my skepticism, he's not entirely wrong. But the thing is, I also pointed this out very, very recently. I pointed this out in my first video where I talked about how I went to church. I pointed this out in the first instances where I talked about changing my beliefs and so on. I pointed this out quite often. In fact, I pointed it out even in a private conversation, David, to you weeks ago or months ago. I don't know when that was. Remember when we were live after we were done with the live? I told you that I'm kind of struggling with the whole issue of for my for 10 years now, always going for being certain about something. But which is why I can't make a step. And then you talk to me about it, and so I was very adamant about my skepticism, and I acknowledged that is a thing, and I even later on acknowledged that I changed this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so that conversation, ladies and gentlemen, it was. This was behind the scenes after we were live, and he was talking about he just has like this obsession with not, he has to be certain, and he's just not certain of any of these things. And we talked about a couple of things, and I gave a couple of examples. I said, think about marriage, right? Think about marriage. Suppose a guy wants to get married, and here's a woman he could get married to. But how much does he actually know about this woman? Suppose he's known her for 6 months. Okay, how much does he know about her? He knows some. He knows some things. He's learned some things about her. Does he want to get married to her? Well, guess what? There's all kinds of things about her that he still doesn't know. She might turn out to be his ultimate nightmare. He doesn't know. He's only known her for 6 months. Well, suppose he's sort of skeptical. I don't want to rush into a relationship because I could be wrong, right? Skeptic. I could be wrong about this. She could be the wrong one for me. And then, so suppose he knows her for 2 years and she seems like the right one, but guess what? Does he know everything about her? No. Could she change if they get married? Yes. So what's he do? I need to know her. I need more information. Now, suppose he spends his entire life. Ha ha! I've spent my entire life and I have never married the wrong person.
Oh, I see.
Right. You never married anyone. You never married the right person either. You never experienced marriage. Right. So anyway, guys, this is an example of the skeptic is what the skeptic is saying. The skeptic can even say, hey, yeah, there's evidence that points there, or something like that. But I'm skeptical. So unless I really, really know, I'm not going to believe that sort of thing. You could apply that exact same reasoning to other things like marriage. I don't know everything about this person. Therefore, I don't know if I might turn out to be wrong. Therefore, I will not commit. I will not enter into this relationship. Believing something is like entering into a relationship with it. It's an idea. That's like when it's like similar to another person. Then you say, all right, I actually believe this now. That's like marrying it almost. So anyway, the real skeptic that like Matt Dillahunty is being is just be the sort of person who's always doubting everything. And I will never know enough about a person to actually say, I want to commit to this. And are you actually just really missing out on something important? That's the end result. Like, again, imagine a person spends his entire life and he's on his deathbed and he goes, let me tell you, I never married the wrong person because I was skeptical about what that person was going to be like. You see, I never did it. Right. What do you win? You spent your entire life without entering into a relationship with someone. Congratulations. You win absolutely nothing. And you missed out on a really important part of life. So that's one thing. And the other thing I pointed out, I mentioned William James in his essay, The Will to Believe. And at the end of that, he gives a quotation from some guy. I forget what the guy had a weird name, like James Fitzjames something or something like that. Anyway, so you get to the end of The Will to Believe, and this is an American philosopher, William James, who was interested in what people believed. But he gives this example that this other guy was using. The guy said, basically, imagine being on top of a mountain in a snowstorm. So you go hiking, you're up on a mountain, all of a sudden there's a snowstorm on the mountain. You're looking around, you don't know how to get down. You look over and you see what looks to be like it could be the way down, but you're not sure. What if it's this way? What if it's that way? What if I'm wrong? It looks like that's the way down the mountain.
Good point.
It looks like that's the way down the mountain, but I'm not sure. What do you do? What he said, what the guy said, what William James said is, well, yeah, you might try that way and it might be wrong. You might go off a cliff, but guess what? If you just stand there, you're dead. You just stand there, you're dead. You're going to get buried in snow. And so he pointed out, he said, you just got to go for it. You could be wrong, but you just got to go for it. And so anyway, that's what we talked about. But as AP was pointing out, yes, this was a discussion about AP saying, I'm just too skeptical to believe in this stuff. And then us saying, well, is it reasonable to always take the side of unbelief?
Yes. And so I acknowledged quite a while ago that I dropped some of my skepticism and decided to go into a new direction. And the direction that I went to is less about having 100% certainty about things, but more about simply not necessarily waiting to be 100% sure about something, but rather trying, or maybe just, if you want to call it, leaping, right? Walking into something that that I see evidence for, and that I also really very, very much like. And I will say very, very honestly, I thought in the past I did consider this kind of like embarrassing or weak or bad to say. I now don't. I actually very happily will say it. My step toward Christianity is not necessarily fully motivated by knowing or believing that it is true. It is more so motivated by, of course, it has an aspect of believing that it is true. It has an aspect of believing in it, but there is also a great part of it which has to do with how I feel about with how I feel about it, how I feel with it, with how I feel about Jesus, how I feel that Jesus is an amazing figure. I had no trouble attaching myself to the figure of Jesus, to the concept of Jesus as my Lord, that I pray to, that I communicate with, that I think of, and I also had no problem at all being part of the Christian way, because I felt like it is really good. I like it. And to be very, very honest, coming from a purely atheistic, skeptic point of view, I thought to myself at some point, if I'm an atheist, if I'm a skeptic, and if, with all the honesty that I've had over the years, I've acknowledged to myself that there is no ultimate, meaning to everything, to anything. I acknowledged ages ago that there is no, ulterior meaning, that there is no ultimate meaning, there is no exterior meaning, there is no inherent meaning to anything. We simply exist in a universe, and we make up our own goals and our own purposes, and we live through it, we live by it, and we die, and we go away. What could possibly be so wrong in this system to go and be part of a system, or of a religion, of a life, of a way that evidently is a very stable, a very good one that is full of peace, and one that brings lots of fulfillment, one that I can find a lot of fulfillment in? What's really so bad about it? What is really so bad about it? Well, what really motivated my step was acknowledging that, acknowledging also how good I feel about this, how I feel like this is it wouldn't at all feel like a mistake for me to go into being religious, into going into Christianity. It's actually it's very sweet. It's very good. It's very pleasant. It is very fulfilling. I have now, for the last for months now, I have spent my mornings waking up happy, with a feeling of serenity, with satisfaction. I actually spend my mornings now getting up and standing and praying for, I don't know, like 10, 20 minutes or something, going by a prayer rule and going through with it meaningfully and devoting myself to it. And it makes me happy. I find fulfillment with it. I find happiness with it. I didn't come to it thinking, okay, I have analyzed and evaluated all the suggestions and all the findings and all the data, and I have concluded, based on a council of observers, that this must be the scientifically accurate path to proceed on.
And now, as the final step, it's the final step in deciding whether I should believe, I have to submit all of my ideas to Matt Dillahunty.
Yes. No, I didn't do any of that.
Approval.
I didn't do any of that. I thought it's very plausible. It's very good. There's a lot of good reason to believe in this. There's a lot of good reason to go with this. There's a lot of good reason to consider it and to find truth in it. But there's also the more reason to find goodness and to find fulfillment and peace in it. And guess what? I am so happy. I am so at peace. I went to to meet for Easter today, and I know how people feel about it. I know what people see when they see my new state, because I feel it as well. I pointed this out to my wife earlier, maybe months ago or so, maybe last year, on the same occasion, I would feel a constant dread of nothingness. I would go to a family meeting. I would go to hang out with the kids and their grandparents and all that, and sit down there. And I'm not even joking. This is not even an exaggeration. I would have a conversation with somebody. They ask me how I am, how I'm doing. I would say, "Oh yeah, everything is good, everything is okay." And then we talk about some random stuff. And in the middle of the conversation, my mind would seriously descend into a very dark place, which is why I always hated small talk, because when we do small talk, my mind would quickly, when the other person talks, as I'm listening, descend into how meaningless and awful everything is, and how it would be such a relief to just die and go away. I don't feel that way anymore. I feel happy. I feel joyful. I feel good. What is it? But what's the problem with this?
Prove to us that it's better to be happy. Is that weird?
Yes. Yeah, you say it's dark. It's darker to feel that every day. Yeah.
So continuing with my analogy, AP is like someone who's with a group of guys and they're all like, "We're never going to get married because we're not gonna marry the wrong woman who might turn out to be mean or something like that. We're never going to commit." And then one of them says, "You know what? Hey, I met someone and I really like her and I'm going to get married to her." And Matt's like the guy going, "No, you haven't proven to us that she is the correct one, or that she's not going to change." And you're like, "You know what? I'm getting married anyway." And like, "You were never one of us. You were never one of us." And you're like, "Hey guys, I'm way happier now. Life is way better now that I'm married. Everything is great. I'm so happy." Prove it. Prove to us that things are better now. I don't know. It's just a weird obsession with something that, even according to their own worldview, is completely absurdly meaningless and pointless. You spend your entire life, suppose you just spent your entire life and you were the ultimate skeptic. Suppose you never believed anything, not even like mathematics, because you're like, maybe I'm even wrong about that. I will never believe anything. Great. What do you win for all your skepticism? Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.